Hello everybody, what is going on? This is Marcus and we are here for the 30th episode of Marcus on Top. And for, this special date, I guess, or this special episode, I figured that I, have to use a new team, a very, very cool team. I'm very, very glad that my good friend DaFlo, the Italian national champion from 2014, as well as World's qualify in 2012 and 15, gave me permission to use this team and feature it on my channel. He brought this team to 2 regionals, but just have a look at it. We have a level 13 Smeargle, a level 49 Groudon, and I will tell a little bit more about the story about what happened to DaFlo at the 2 tournaments that he attended with his team, and about the whole strategy and so on. So basically I feel like this team is pretty strong, and but let's see how it can work out here, as we're finding Givrali from Japan, from Kyoto, I think, with a rating just below the 1800s, just like we are, rocking a team here, having basically the big 6 lineup. The 6 that we featured in the last episode, but he has Raichu over Kangaskhan. So there is a Smeargle, and Smeargle is problematic for this team, at least a little bit. Actually, let me check this real quick. Okay, yes, we do have Taunt and Haste. Yes, I was just trying to figure out whether I was right about that, or So I think we will actually lead Crobat, and we will have Dialga next to it, and then Smeargle and Groudon in the back. We could also bring Kangaskhan here, but I definitely want to show off those under-leveled Mons. So yes, both Smeargle and Groudon actually stay below level 50 here at level 13 and 49 respectively. I don't want to give out what level 13 actually achieves. You can try and figure that out yourself, but let's see what we can do. I mean, level 49 and Groudon obviously there to make sure that you are the fastest Groudon in Trick Room, so that even if your opponent also has like a Kyogre or Groudon with minimum speed, and if they are level 50, that you will underspeed them. So my opponent leading off with Xerneas and Talonflame here. I'm not really sure what DaFlo would do in this situation. Probably he would do something else. Maybe he would lead Crobat and Kangaskhan, but I feel like, I don't know, let's just see how this works. So this team also has kind of a Tailwind option. However, since we brought Smeargle in the back at level 13, it's probably not going to outspeed too much, even in Tailwind. So instead, I think I just want to go for... we could just taunt that Xerneas, or we could just try and go for a knockout with Super Fang and Trick Room, and then we can Iron Head it the next turn. And I think that is what we are going to do. Xerneas just goes ahead with a Moonblast, and that indicates a Choice Scarf, which is certainly interesting. And outspeeding Crobat here, so Choice Scarf Xerneas, okay. And Talonflame goes for the taunt onto the Dialga. Oh no, no Trick Room. What is that? Yet another Mental Herb here. We saw it on the Smeargle I featured in the last episode, but now Mental Herb coming out once again. And now we do have the Trick Room up and going. Taunt Talonflame, definitely interesting. But I'm probably not going to help my opponent too much right here. So we could switch into Groudon with that Crobat and just Iron Head the Xerneas, since there is not much you can do there. However, Crobat is pretty useless right now, so maybe we could also go for a Super Fang on the Talonflame to get it even lower and probably take it out soon. Okay, he doesn't switch, doesn't want to save the Xerneas, and Iron Head is enough to knock it out right there. So down goes Xerneas. And Talonflame goes for another taunt though, okay. Onto the Crobat though. Interesting choice. Another Super Fang will come out here, and maybe he predicted a switch. Red card coming out, what? Red card Talonflame? Probably there for Xerneas, I guess. But in this case, that actually really helps us, because it brings out Smeargle, and the useless Crobat is not there to block our way. Probably Yeah, I'm not sure. If Groudon came out here, that would probably have been even better, but let's see here. So, I guess we could just go for the Fake Out onto the Smeargle, and Draco Meteor onto that Talonflame to knock it out. So even if that Smeargle also has Fake Out, since yeah we're slower, we will definitely outspeed it, and yep, we will break a potential Focus Sash here. And yeah, he probably went for Follow Me or Fake Out himself, as Smeargle went there before the Dialga. And Draco Meteor here knocks out the Talonflame, so we are up 4-2, and this is going pretty well. The red card, interestingly enough, really helping us, but there's always Moody. Special attack Rose, that is fine, and accuracy drops, great. No Moody on our Smeargle. I guess you could make a case for it on this one. Like, generally, I don't know, Smeargle that are on Trick Room teams don't want Moody because, like, there's the chance that you get the speed boost, and then in Trick Room, you want to be as slow as possible. Since this Smeargle is slow anyway, even at +2 speed, you would still like underspeed or in Trick Room outspeed most stuff. But yeah, I agree with the choice here of going for the own tempo. I don't know, you can't be swaggered, and like you're using gravity for accuracy boosts anyway. So I don't know, only the yeah, like evasion would help you, but since yeah you have gravity up most of the time anyway, that doesn't really work. So we're going for that Dark Void here, and I think I will just Iron Head into the Smeargle. Yeah, we could set up Gravity, but Smeargle will go first before the Dialga, so it doesn't really help anyway. Smeargle goes for the Spiky Shield right here, and also the Protect coming out. Okay, so we could have capitalized on that, probably set up the Gravity, but yeah, that would have helped hitting Dark Voids, but yeah, let's see what Moody brings here. Special attack goes up even further, but that doesn't matter, and speed drops. But yeah, since we are so slow with our Smeargle, that shouldn't make much of a difference. We could also try to go for Endeavor plus KO on the Groudon. However, since his Smeargle got a speed drop now, I don't want to risk going for that, since his Smeargle might underspeed our Dialga, and if he goes for a Dark Void, then that would be really bad. We could actually call back our Dialga and go into Crobat. But what if he has Crafty Shield? Yeah, actually just let's go for an Iron Head on that Smeargle. So Dark Void goes off, hits at least one target, probably hits both, so no Crafty Shield or anything like that coming out. But yes, Smeargle falls asleep and Groudon as well. So yeah, this is looking very good. Trick Room will be over, but since yeah, they just fell asleep, we might be able to just set it up a second time. I could have switched into Crobat there to get up a taunt onto that Smeargle, but I didn't want it. I didn't want to risk anything there. And yeah, attack goes up, and special attack goes down. Now, did he get an accuracy drop? I'm not entirely sure. I'm not 100% sure, but I think we can just go for Trick Room and Endeavor onto that Groudon. So even if his Smeargle woke up, or yeah, he'd have to basically have like 2 one-turn wake-ups here. But he actually gets off the Dark Void here after waking up with Smeargle. So maybe this game could be interesting still. Huh. Okay, so no Trick Room for us. And yeah, now it comes down to how long will that Groudon stay asleep. So I think we're actually switching out Dialga and into Crobat, to make sure we can get off at least like the taunt onto the Smeargle. We could even think about setting up Tailwind for our Groudon as another way of speed control though. Yeah, that could be interesting. Do I want to go for another Endeavor here? Yeah, I guess if we take out Groudon, then we just win the game. So I guess Endeavor it is. And then with Dialga, I'll just switch into Crobat. But yeah, time stalling or like having an eye out on the timer could also help here. I mean, I think if it was like a tournament match, I would probably like wait out the time here, since he only has 2 mons left, and yeah, like his only source of damage output is that Groudon. So he would have to KO all our mons with that Groudon. But let's see here. Groudon's still asleep. He goes for another Dark Void. Good play here. And yeah, but Smeargle already asleep. And we don't mind that too much with Crobat, since we do have the Lumberry to wake us up. And our Smeargle actually wakes up, goes for the Endeavor. So that Groudon will be down to 43 HP now, I think. But he gets the Evasion boost. Okay, I guess it had to happen at some point. Okay, 49 HP is what our Smeargle has. It had to happen at some point. So I guess I will go for the Dark Void right now, since his Groudon will probably wake up. And then the question is, we could also in theory go for the Haze to make sure everything is like right again, I guess, like in terms of boosts, but then he could just get the Evasion boost in the same turn with Moody. Yeah, we could just go for the Tailwind to give us the best shot at winning. But I think we have to land the taunt either way, because like, even if we set up the Tailwind, then we could also just miss our attacks, like still. But he actually sets up the Sword Dance with his Groudon. I'm not sure if that was the play to make. But yeah, we fortunately got off the taunt, and he can't use Dark Void, but we can. So we will go for that. And Dark Void coming out. Hits the Smeargle through the Evasion boost. That was nice. I don't think he got like a decrease or anything beforehand, so that was a little bit lucky. Let's see what he gets here. Even more Evasion boosts. So maybe we could actually think about going for the Haze now that he set up the Sword Dance as well as lots of those Evasion boosts. So I think I will actually switch into Groudon and go for that Haze. That's not the intended use of Haze, I think. Like, generally you of course want to use it to yeah, like bring Xerneas back to normal stats after it used its Power Herb on Geomancy. But that is definitely an interesting use here for the Smeargle as well as the Groudon, so if we can pull it off here, I would be really happy. And yep, there it is. Hazing everything. He's still asleep, that is good. And Smeargle, yeah, probably has to go for the Fake Out, I guess, if he has it, or will just struggle. More Moody coming out. Speed rises here, actually. Yeah, that is actually problematic, potentially, but he's still taunted, so that is fine. And I think the safest play we have right here is just to go for a Protect and Tailwind to, yeah, let our Groudon outspeed him. He goes for the Protect, actually, with Groudon. I'm not sure if that was the right call, since, yeah, right now he outspeeds our Groudon. So he could have gone for, I don't know, like a Fire Punch if he has it on the Crobat to at least get off, like, 1 KO. But now we can go for the Tailwind, and then next turn I will go for Haze and Precipice Blades, and we should be in a fantastic spot to take this game. As long as Precipice Blades hits, I guess. And as long as he doesn't get another speed boost. But actually, yeah, he outspeeds us now with his Smeargle. So we have to taunt him instead. Yeah, we have to taunt him. I think his taunt was over, was it? If it wasn't over, then we win either way. By the way, you can also see the substitute right now on my Groudon. I think to play 100% safe, we will actually go for the substitute right now. Because Precipice Blades could miss, and then we don't have like a source of damage output. So yeah, that is also the reasoning behind the level 49 Groudon. Groudon is like not only the main source of damage output, but like the one and only source of damage output. Like Crobat doesn't do damage. Okay, he goes for the double protect anyway, and okay, so taunt was over, and I didn't see like ghosts or anything. But we actually outspeed him anyway, even with that speed boost, so maybe he got a speed decrease early on, or maybe he's just min speed. I didn't pay too much attention, because yeah, like we hazed already, so yeah, like I don't know. I know there was like a speed drop somewhere, but I think we hazed that away. So yeah, like time's ticking down, or clock is ticking down, but I think we will just risk going for the Precipice Blades now anyway. I don't know, I think I will haze here, because why not? And he will probably protect with Groudon, but yeah, there's not anything he can do. We grabbed the first victory here in this episode, and yeah, you could probably see how this team works together, having that Groudon with Substitute. I know in an earlier version, DaFlo also tested out Sword Dance, but in the end he settled on Substitute, and I also saw another Japanese team that had Trick Room with Substitute Groudon, as well as like Pentagram also used Substitute Groudon on the Trick Room team in his team that he used to win the Gloria Classic Finals, so there is probably something behind Substitute over Sword Dance. Our opponent there having the Sword Dance didn't really help too much since we had that haze. But yeah, so the team did pretty well here. DaFlo used it, as I said, in 2 regionals. The first one in Innsbruck, I think. He started out with a 3-0 in Swiss, but then, yeah, like also including a win against the later second place finisher of the tournament. But then, yeah, he like couldn't continue with his streak, unfortunately, and did not make it into the top cut. And then in Arnhem, something really interesting happened. As you can see, I'm using his team right now here on BattleSpot, and like there's no problem with that. Like the BattleSpot system doesn't have any problems with me using this team, and yeah, maybe you can guess it looking at the team, but let's see if I can show you in this next battle we have against Ando from Mexico with a rating of 1620, who is into VGC 16. That is good to see. So he has Gengar, Ray Ogre, Double Genies, and Scizor. That looks like a pretty solid team. And yeah, I think I can just go with this plan right here, which is another lineup that I know that DaFlo liked when using this team, just leading off with Landorus and Dialga and having Smeargle and Groudon in the back. And I think that is also like the main plan of this team. Kangaskhan is just built to outspeed Smeargle when it's like non-mega, and then there's like the Haze Taunt Crobot as well. So those two take care of potential Smeargle and Xerneas shenanigans. But yeah, like Dialga Landorus is probably the most common lead with this team, at least from how I see it. Maybe it's a little bit different, but yeah, we tested this a little bit. I played a couple of games against him and got wrecked most of the time. But yeah, this is probably like the most solid lineup you have, and I will show you, or I will attempt to show you why. So, as I said, DaFlo was in Arnhem, in the Netherlands for the ECC Regionals tournament, and yeah, he registered there. It was the first European regional tournament where there was the battle box in lock, so the battle software that, yeah, enforces the 15-minute timer, which is obviously great because beforehand it was impossible to play with these conditions that we have on BattleSpot right now. Also, it was possible for the first time to have, yeah, like the levels stay the same and no warp or anything. So yeah, in Innsbruck in the version he had level 50 Groudon and level 50 Smeargle because it was impossible, but with the battle box he felt comfortable going with those lower level choices, and so everything looked good and so on. He registered, passed the hack check, like, if there was any, I'm not entirely sure what happened. But then, after like a couple of rounds, actually the Sludge Bomb coming out from this Gengar onto the Landorus, okay. But I guess, as you can see now, Landorus goes for the explosion, but even though that won't hurt the Gengar at all, but yeah, it also won't hurt our Dialga because it's the telepathy ability. So, as most of you probably know, Telepathy Dialga was an event that was given out only in Japan, and yeah, DaFlo, through trades, got his hands on one of those, and since, like, as you can see, I'm able to use it on BattleSpot, so it should be fine to be used in tournaments. As I already told you, it was possible for him to use it at regionals before, for example, but yeah, since there was the Battle Box lock, there was also like another kind of hack check in place, I guess. And actually, let me think for a little bit. This might be Mega Gengar, so we could just switch in Groudon and Fire Punch for the knockout while Dracoing that Lando. Or do we want to switch into Smeargle and just Dark Void and switch into Groudon? Could also substitute gravity. But he might just go for another earthquake. I don't want that to happen. So anyway, as you could see, I was able to just explosion here next to my Dialga thanks to telepathy. But yeah, so that's like one key part of this strategy. And do I set up gravity or do I just switch out into Groudon? I think I actually just switch out here. Yeah. Okay. So back to the story. DaFlo played the first few rounds, and after the third round, he was like for another hack check, and yeah, since he already like had his battle box locked and there weren't any complications there, he was like obviously like fine. The Dialga passed the check on battle spot, so that was fine. But then it turned out that that check identified his Dialga as modified or as hacked. So yeah, like one of the guys who he got it from, I don't know, probably didn't know it or got it traded themselves. Like it's impossible to track chains like that when the only way to get it is from an event in Japan. But yeah, it turned out that it did not pass the hack check then, and so DaFlo was disqualified from the tournament, could not continue playing, and I don't know, that's like, in my opinion, that's not really good to have such inconsistencies, because like, yeah, as I said earlier, he was able to use it at regionals. I would be able to use this team at mid-season showdowns, regionals that do not have the battle lock in effect, at premier challenges. But yeah, since there was the battle box available and proper hack check, it turned out that he could not use this there. And yeah, kind of unfortunate in my opinion. But yeah, like it's a good thing to have battle boxes, but then the like hack check things, in my opinion at least, should also like be consistent. I think I will just go for the gravity and precipice blades here, hoping that this Gengar might be Mega, but it might also just be Focus Sash. And if it is Focus Sash and has Taunt, then that would be a little bit problematic. But yeah, you could also see this Smeargle set is definitely designed to be next to the Groudon, and he's Focus Sash. Okay, no Mega. And yeah, with gravity you can just line things up perfectly, since Dialga has to be level 100 and has to be modest from that event, so there's no possibility to go for, I don't know, like quiet level 48 Dialga to underspeed the Groudon and to make it so that you can gravity before the Precipice Blades. But yeah, with Smeargle being at that low level, or even like just min speed, it is possible to gravity before the Precipice Blades come off. And even though Landorus is flying type and Gengar has Levitate, that is no problem for us, and we just Precipice Blade them away. Now, the Gengar did go for the Sludge Bomb. Fortunately enough, we did not get to see the poison though. So yeah, things are working quite nicely right now. There is a chance that he will just go for the extreme speed onto the Smeargle and protect his Gengar, so I could use that to set up Substitute, or I could also switch into Dialga to keep our Smeargle around for a little bit, and I think that is actually what I want to do. Now we are at 1 HP, but we could still help out our Groudon maybe later on with a Fake Out and Substitute or something like that, and Dialga doesn't take any like serious damage from extreme speed anyway. So yeah, switching out into Dialga and going for another Precipice Blades to KO that Gengar. He goes for the Mega Evolution now, of course, to strengthen his Rayquaza, and yeah, his Gengar is Sash anyway. But yeah, we're not reliant on Sun here, as Precipice Blades is our main damage output. Goes for the Protect here onto the Gengar, but there wasn't really too much else we could have done, and there is the Extreme Speed coming out onto the Dialga, perfect. Does a little bit of damage, yeah, that looks like Life Orb, but Precipice Blades will come out and deal significant damage to the Rayquaza. So, he will probably just protect Dialga the next turn, I think. That is what I would do. So I think we are going to Iron Head into that Gengar and substitute with Groudon. Though Gengar can't really touch Groudon too much, so maybe it's safer to go for a Draco on the Rayquaza and substitute, because he can definitely not break it. Or getting rid of Gengar is more valuable. Yeah, okay, I'm going for the Draco. No, let's iron at the Gengar. And set up the substitute. I'm pretty sure he has to protect here. Okay, so there's the protect, yes. Because I don't want to get, I don't know, I don't want him to have any obscure move choice. I don't like hypnosising the Dialga. I don't know, just anything that can help him here to come back into this game. So protect was pretty obvious, and we can abuse that to our advantage by setting up the substitute. The twisted dimensions are back to normal, but gravity is still up now. So Kyogre comes out here. And actually this game is not over necessarily. Actually it's not over at all. Because maybe we should have switched Groudon out into the Smeargle? Maybe that would have been the play, because then we would have had the weather advantage with our Groudon. But now, yeah, that probably would have been better. But now he can just go for Dragon Ascent onto the Groudon and Water Spout, and that is pretty problematic. So, actually I might have tricked myself there with that play. I'm guessing setting up Trick Room, though there's not really any harm in that though. But maybe, yeah, getting rid of Rayquaza would just instantly win this game probably. Since our Groudon cannot touch Rayquaza in Rain. And then I will also just protect here. He will most likely knock out the Dialga, but then we can bring out Smeargle and hopefully do something with Fake Out and trick him into thinking that we have Wide Guard, for example, because stuff like that could help. So Dragon Ascent comes out in the ground and Water Spout comes out. So let's see if our Dialga is able to take that. I doubt it. Kyogre just so strong, Water Spout in Rain, 150 base power, so Dialga unfortunately could not take it, and this game is really coming down to the wire. So Smeargle comes out here, and he probably just expects Follow Me to come out. I'm not really sure. Or maybe he would just Extreme Speed to get rid of the Follow Me and also Water Spout. So I really have to make this turn count. Do I Fake Out the Rayquaza though? But if he goes for Water Spout, then yeah, Smeargle goes down anyway. So we will Fake Out the Kyogre and Precipice Blades here, I think. Okay, Fake Out goes off nice. No protects or anything coming out, so that Kyogre will flinch. Extreme Speed coming out onto the Smeargle probably. Yep, there it is. Predicting probably the Follow Me? I'm not even sure. Since yeah, he could have also Extreme Speeded like the substitute, but maybe yeah, that probably just doesn't faint. So Precipice Blades, fortunately enough, we still have Gravity active, so that will probably mean that we will win this game, as it is enough to knock out the Rayquaza obviously, and also does a lot of damage to that Kyogre. And we're still safe, hidden behind that substitute. However, it's Precipice Blades. It can always miss, you know. And, yeah, that's what it comes down to. Do we hit this Precipice Blades or not? We could have, in theory, also just stalled the timer again, since we're having, like, the health advantage, but I don't think it's, like, helping us in this position, and I don't know, it will just come down to whether we can hit this Precipice Blades or not. Let's see, Origin Pulse? Oh, he has Origin Pulse! He should have definitely Water Spouted there. That is definitely enough to break that substitute. But, oh well. And can Precipice Blades hit? And we miss! Oh, this is just the worst feeling. Gravity just ended. Like, we're using gravity to make sure stuff like that doesn't happen, but I guess if my opponent still doesn't go for the Water Spout, but for the Origin Pulse, then we could still win if he misses, but yeah, let's just see. And he goes for the Origin Pulse, but he hits. Typical. But yeah, I guess due to my misplay earlier, where I didn't switch back the Groudon, I think we deserve to lose that one anyway. since yeah, had we secured the weather advantage and switched out Groudon instead of going for the substitute, then we had like the full health Groudon, and yeah, that would have been like way better. Also would have helped us to set up the Trick Room again by going for a Fake Out with the Smeargle onto the Kyogre. Depending on Rayquaza's last move, I think like Draco Meteor would have KO'd that 45% Dialga, but Dragon Ascent definitely wouldn't have, and also I don't think like Overheat probably wouldn't have KO'd. Extreme Speed of course not. But yeah, I think that was probably the mistake. I was a little bit too greedy there, thinking like the free substitute and everything was like really nice. I mean, I guess it would have worked out in the end here, but only because my opponent didn't expect the Fake Out to come out. But oh well, that's how it is. With Smeargle, I mean, you can never really guess its moves, as we also saw in the last episode of Marcus and Rob. But yeah, that'll be it for today. Once again, thank you so much for to DaFlo for giving me permission to use this team. Yeah, follow him on Twitter. The links will be in the description, and comment of the day, by the way, coming out from Marcus. Really nice name there, by the way. And yeah, basically he was just telling someone who asked about what the restricted Mons, Mewtwo, and Yveltal do on that assist Dark Void team. And yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone that contributes to my comment sections, always being like, I don't know, friendly atmosphere and people helping each other. I try to read all of them. Yeah, like I basically read all of the comments I get, but yeah, sometimes I can't like immediately respond to them, and sometimes I want to address them in videos, but then I forget about it, or I do it anyway. But yeah, helping each other out is definitely something I like to see, and yeah, thanks to him to answer the question in a way like that. So that'll be it for today. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. I would really appreciate that, and also subscribe to my channel. And yeah, see you soon. Bye.